Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just dive right into it. Today we're exploring one of the absolute highest stakes frontiers in human history, artificial intelligence in healthcare. Now, we hear the buzzword AI everywhere these days, but in a hospital setting, it's not just about convenience. It is literally life or death. So let's break down the massive promise, the hidden perils, and why the true power of AI ultimately comes down to the data we feed it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. When a lot of us hear artificial intelligence, our minds immediately jump to those big Hollywood blockbusters, right? We picture villain robots ready to take over the world. It's a gripping story, for sure. Science fiction has spent decades conditioning us to fear the rogue, calculating machine that eventually turns on its creators. And honestly, it makes total sense why that fear lingers when the tech behind it feels so mysterious. But actually, reality completely shatters that Hollywood myth. Instead of a rogue machine causing harm, AI is actively out there revolutionizing our healthcare systems as we speak. We're talking about incredibly accurate decision-making tools that help doctors personalize care, streamline entire hospitals, and radically improve healthcare access for millions. This isn't about ending lives, it's a tool designed to save them. To put this into perspective, let me introduce you to Peter. Peter is a cancer patient who had gone through an absolutely grueling, comprehensive clinical assessment. We're talking all the imaging, all the diagnostic workups, the whole shebang. But even the top doctors in town hit a massive wall. They simply could not identify the primary site of his cancer. And in oncology, if you don't know where the cancer started, you just can't give a targeted treatment. Because of this, Peter was facing a really grim reality, a less than 10% chance of surviving another 5 years. So a team of developers and researchers in Brisbane tried a totally different approach. Instead of relying on human eyes alone, they fed an AI model a massive, deeply complex array of Peter's data. And this wasn't just a basic medical chart. They threw in his comprehensive blood tests, X-ray images of suspected lesions, and crucially, incredibly dense genetic information pulled straight from a tissue biopsy. The AI was tasked with rapidly connecting all these disparate data points, something that would take a human doctor an impossible amount of time to process at that granular level. And the result? An absolute breakthrough. The AI model analyzed all of Peter's complex inputs and successfully did what a team of top doctors couldn't do. It accurately identified the cancer's primary site. By pinpointing exactly where the cancer originated, the AI empowered Peter's doctors to prescribe a highly targeted, effective treatment that they knew would work for his specific biology. It literally unlocked a doorway to his survival. So how does a computer actually pull this off? Well, it's not magic, it's just a deeply logical process. Step 1, like we saw with Peter, is inputting those incredibly complex datasets. Step 2 is where the quote-unquote intelligence kicks in. The model goes through a training phase, learning from the historical data of thousands of past patients. It figures out what treatments worked, what didn't, and how specific genetics tie to certain outcomes. And finally, step 3. It uses all that historical learning to predict the absolute best diagnosis and treatment path for a brand new patient. It leverages the past to save the future. But here is the catch, and it's a big one. Despite all this undeniable promise, rolling AI out into routine clinical practice is hitting a major roadblock. Our existing regulatory frameworks, they simply aren't designed for AI-based medical software. The rulebooks that governing bodies rely on to keep patients safe were written for a completely different era of medicine. Let's break down exactly why those old rules fail. Think about traditional software, which is what current regulations are built around. It's static. Think of a standard hospital database, or even the software running a surgical implant. When developers release a version, it gives the exact same identical output every single time you use it. It is perfectly reproducible. But AI software? It's the exact opposite. Its entire value lies in its ability to learn, evolve, and adapt over time. It's supposed to get smarter the more it interacts with new data. So because regulators rely on things being static to prove they are safe, they've implemented this incredibly ironic fix for AI. Right now, authorities basically force developers to lock the algorithm's learning potential before it ever sees clinical use. They literally turn off the AI's ability to learn from its environment. This completely kneecaps the software's potential to improve. In fact, locking the algorithm can actually harm patients because it means the AI is no longer being trained on the most up-to-date real-world data, which could lead to an outdated or just flat-out wrong diagnosis. And this regulatory headache leads us straight into an even deeper, more critical issue: the data itself. Take, for example, a new mobile diagnostic app being developed in Brisbane. It's super innovative. It uses AI to detect signs of skin cancer just by analyzing images you snap with your everyday iPhone. Sounds like a massive game changer for accessible healthcare, right?
But hold on a second, because it forces us to ask a literal life or death question. If this AI model was trained on a predominantly Caucasian population, how well do you think it's going to perform for an African American or an Asian patient? Think about it. If the computer has only ever seen and learned from white skin, its ability to accurately flag cancerous anomalies on darker skin tones is going to be severely, dangerously compromised.
And this brings us to the absolute core challenge of medical AI right now: data bias. This happens when AI models are trained on datasets that just don't reflect the real world. If you feed an AI a skewed, non-representative dataset, it will inevitably perform poorly for any underrepresented group. We absolutely cannot overstate the importance of using diverse and representative datasets to avoid this bias. To save lives fairly, developers have a massive responsibility to train AI on robust datasets that represent the entire human population, not just one specific demographic.
But, we also have to face facts here. The reality of medicine is complex, and sometimes perfect utopian data diversity is mathematically impossible. Take skin cancer, for instance. Due to genetic differences, it actually does disproportionately affect Caucasian populations. And because of that natural biological reality, there are just vastly larger data sets available for those specific patients. The data is organically skewed simply because the disease prevalence itself is skewed. So what's the workaround when perfect diversity just isn't an option? We actually need our AI to be, well, a little more human. We need to build in functionality so that if an AI encounters a patient from a demographic it hasn't seen much of, it can generate a low-confidence result and literally say, hey, I don't know, or this is my best guess based on a skewed training population. It's a deeply humanizing trait, the ability to admit uncertainty. This doesn't exist in standard models yet, but it is absolutely something regulators urgently need to mandate.
Thankfully, it's not all doom and gloom. There are emerging regulation frameworks being proposed right now that could be a total game changer. Instead of just locking the AI and freezing its brain, authorities are looking at new methods. We're talking transparent reporting mechanisms, where developers disclose exactly how their models will learn and evolve over time, combined with ongoing real-time monitoring. This ensures the software stays safe while still continuously adapting to make better predictions. But to actually get this right and truly unlock AI's potential to serve everyone equally, we can't work in silos. We have to establish these new frameworks collaboratively. This means deep consultation between the AI developers building the tech, the doctors using it on the floor, the regulators ensuring safety, and most importantly, the patients whose lives are on the line. Everyone needs a seat at the table to rewrite these rules. Which brings us to one final thought to chew on: the promise of personalized, hyper-precise healthcare. It's not science fiction anymore. It is right here at our doorstep. But as this incredible technology evolves to save millions of lives, how are we going to balance that rapid innovation with the absolute, uncompromising demand for unbiased, inclusive datasets? Because at the end of the day, a medical revolution is only truly successful if it works for every single one of us. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and keep questioning the data.